Hey everyone, how's it going? Today I wanted to make this video because I know a lot of you are like me in wanting to find brands that align with our personal values. If you are pro-choice, I've compiled a list of every beauty brand I saw that has made statements in support of women's reproductive rights. So if you want to do a little rage shopping, these are some brands that you can support. Obviously not all of my followers are pro-choice and you're 100% able to do whatever you feel is right for yourself. Spare me any comments like, oh, those brands are pro-choice, well then I won't buy from them anymore. No one cares. But if you're like me and we have similar core values, then these are some great brands that you can support and a roundup of all of my favorite products from each and every one. Before getting into my favorites, I wanted to call out the brands that I don't own products from that mentioned pro-choice statements on Instagram. We have Hotel Lobby, which is an influencer-founded brand and a wonderful candle company. I just burned through all of their candles, but they're fantastic. We have Tower 28. Surprisingly, I don't own any Tower 28 products. Glow Recipe, Herbivore, Coco Kind, Black Girl Sunscreen, Wldkat Skincare, Follian, Versed, the Outset, which is Scarlett Johansson's new brand, Ouai Hair Products, Credo Beauty, Estée Lauder, SkinFix, Brandefy, and SweetSpot Labs. I'm gonna start with Peach and Lily because they announced that they were donating 100% of their profits to a fund that supports women's rights. I think that promo ended, but I loved their commitment to the cause, and I'm gonna start first with the Superboot Resurfacing Mask. It has AHA, BHA, and blue agave, so it has a blend of chemical exfoliants. It's quite strong, but it's not like the ordinary, you know, that like red peel-off mask. I couldn't do that. This only stings my face for maybe 30 seconds max, and it's not even too bad of a sting. It's just that kind of uncomfortable chemical exfoliant feeling. This is incredible though. It makes my skin so soft, so bouncy. It has hydrating ingredients. It has some skin soothers. I just leave this on for 10 minutes. Again, it only stings for a few seconds. I really don't use any more leave-on chemical exfoliating products. They just sensitize my skin so much if they're really strong. And if they're super gentle, I find that they don't really do anything. So a strong wash-off mask for me with my sensitive skin is the way to go. By far, my favorite hydrating serum is the Glass Skin Serum from Peach and Lily, and it's also a bit of a multitasker. So obviously it has your hyaluronic acid and your hydrating ingredients, but it also has niacinamide, which helps even out your skin tone, soothe your skin, and it has peach extract, peptides, it has metacasicide, which is a skin soother. You can get this on Ulta, and I just love that it has such a thin, lightweight, silky texture. It really is just such a wonderful serum, and I use this twice a day, morning and night. I do believe they have a larger size than this, and I definitely have to pick it up on Ulta. Blown away. I also love their cleansing oil. I like their hydrating cleanser. They have a lot of really fantastic products. Next, we have Youth to the People, and this is their new Polypeptide 121 Future Cream. I don't even think you can get this on Sephora yet. I believe it might be launching July 6th, if I read that right. But I used this morning. I got this in PR from them. Blew my mind. Blew my mind. With just a little bit, it's really thin, but it's so powerful. Like, it's thin in texture. It really doesn't have, you know, when I think of a thick cream, I think of Glossier, After Balm, or Pharmacy's like Honey Ceramide Moisturizer or something like that. This is actually quite thin, but it's really occlusive and your skin just feels soft, bouncy, plump. It is like an absolute dream for me. It's not too heavy during the daytime, but it's rich enough at night. It's also fragrance-free, essential oil-free. It has a powerhouse of different peptides that help to soften the signs of aging. And I forget off the top of my head, but it also has some ingredients that help with firmness in the skin. It has like flax protein, pea protein, and a few others. Basically, it's supposed to help strengthen your skin barrier, moisturize your skin, soften the signs of aging, and hydrate, and I freaking love it. This is a new fave. Like, this is gonna go for sure in my 2022 skincare favorites. I love it. The Youth to the People Super Clay Purifying Clear Power Mask is one of my favorites. Look at this. I am almost out. I'm scraping the bottom of this thing. I've never run through a mask so fast in my life. This has BHA to really exfoliate and kind of unclog your pores. It has niacinamide to help soothe it. It has kombucha, don't know what that does. And it has clay, which helps, you know, break up some of your congestion. This is a before and after results kind of mask. Your skin's kind of angry, it's kind of clogged, congested. You apply this, and when you take it off, your skin feels smoother, it looks less red, it feels more plump and hydrated, and any acne that you have looks a little better. Like, it's by far the best mask I've ever tried. Next up, we have Kinship. My favorite product from Kinship is their Green Apple Oil-Free Blemish Control Gel Cleanser. I'm at the bottom of this and I'll be so sad. First of all, it has the most amazing scent of green apples. It's just like, it's so good. It's just kind of like tart and wakes you up. It's also a gel cleanser that foams, so I really feel like I'm getting some great cleansing action. I don't ever find that it's stripping or irritating. It's just kind of my perfect Goldilocks cleanser for morning or night, and this is definitely where I would start. I like their papaya enzyme cleanser as well. It's just incredibly gentle. I do find that because I tend to have acne prone skin, I do need a cleanser that's a little more heavy duty than just like a standard hydrating cleanser. So this is the one I would go with for me. I do want to say though, I also love the Self-Reflect sunscreen from Kinship, but I just ran out of mine, so I don't have it to show for you. But I've reviewed it on my Instagram and my YouTube many times. I love it. It feels like a moisturizer. In the summertime, it can be a little bit heavy. It can feel like it leaves a little bit of a film on your face, or it makes my face feel a little sweaty. It's a wintertime sunscreen for me. The white cast is barely noticeable on most people. If you work in layers, it's totally fine, but it's 22% zinc oxide. So for those of you who really look for a high concentration of zinc in your mineral sunscreens, then I think that one's a great place to start. My favorite sunscreen by a mile is the Live Tinted Hugard SPF 30. This shit is ridiculously good. I'm almost out of my tube. I ordered a backup. John's already been through 2 tubes. We are absolutely hooked on this. It comes out like this orange color, but it totally blends into my skin. It looks great on John's skin as well. You know, he has facial hair and it doesn't get weird in his beard or his mustache. And essentially this just feels like a really lightweight moisturizer and primer. You can barely tell that this is sunscreen. It's so thin. It's so moisturizing. You can totally skip a moisturizer with this. It's a wonderful multitasker. It's always soothing. It never looks greasy or wet like so many mineral sunscreens can look. It's never drying or heavy like so many mineral sunscreens can feel. Live Tinted did something absolutely magical with this, and it's 18% zinc, which is great for me. And all of the products here are fragrance free unless I say otherwise, just so you know. So this is fragrance free. It's just amazing. This blows my mind every single time I wear it. The sunscreen I'm wearing today is Paula's Choice. This is their super light daily wrinkle defense SPF 30. It comes out really just looking like a tinted moisturizer. It does have those iron oxides, just like the Live Tinted and the Kinship sunscreens. Ever since I started incorporating exclusively tinted sunscreens into my routine, my sun damage has been significantly reduced. And this particular sunscreen is my go-to for days when I have to be wearing makeup out in the sun or I have to be on camera. So that's why I'm wearing it today. Really, every sunscreen I own tends to have quite a dewy finish. When I use it on camera, doesn't matter how many times I powder my face, I will just be left with a wet looking face with all of my other sunscreens. Even the Live Tinted a little bit because it's a moisturizer, less so that one, but this just has the perfect soft matte finish. Unfortunately, if my skin is sensitized, this can sting me a little bit, but if I'm not having a reaction to a product, then my skin is totally fine with this, and it just sets down to the most beautiful soft matte finish. It just makes makeup look great. It really just acts kind of like a primer for me. I love it. Let's move on to Pacifica. Interestingly, my favorite products from Pacifica are their masks. So they look like this. They have one sticky side, one non-sticky side. You just apply some kind of hydrating serum, then you plop them on your face. They are also uniquely a very, very like plush, thick, comfortable kind of silicone versus the Dew Skin reusable eye masks that are kind of a hard silicone. I don't find those to be as comfortable and I don't find them to stick on my skin as well. These are amazing and they're just a few bucks from Pacifica on Ulta Beauty. I mean, they're incredible. When you put this on with a hydrating serum and leave it on for like 30 minutes, your lines will be plumped up. Temporarily, of course, But if you use this every day, like you will notice a difference in your skin long term. It's amazing. I also have their reusable eye patches, and I find that the thicker texture is just so much more comfortable under my eyes. And I just saw in the mail, they sent me their entire ceramide line. So I will definitely be testing these out and I'll get back to you. I'm so excited they have a sensitive skin line. Next, we're gonna talk about Wander Beauty because they are criminally underrated in the beauty world and in the influencer communities. They have some of my holy grail products and no one ever talks about them. Like I don't see people talking about Wander Beauty. You guys gotta get on this train. I've talked about these 100 times, so I'll be brief. These are their disposable eye masks. On one side, there's a cloth that's soaked in hydrating ingredients, and on the other side, there's kind of just like a soft aluminum, I wanna say. And these hug your eyes. You can get them super close to your lash line because they're so soft and so comfortable. This is the only disposable eye mask I've tried that hasn't stung my under eyes, so it's a godsend for me. I keep these in the fridge. I use them several times a week. I bring them with me on vacation. I cannot live without them. They're my favorite. I also want to give a shout out to their Sightseer Vitamin C Serum. It's super robust. It has a derivative of vitamin C, so it's non-irritating. It has niacinamide. It has a ton of hydrating ingredients. It has ingredients that are anti-aging. It's wonderful. It's a super robust antioxidant serum. Haven't heard a lot of people talk about it. I ran out of it, unfortunately, but I will certainly be buying another because it's fantastic. Another criminally underrated product from Wander Beauty. Their double date eyeshadow duos are fantastic. On my eyes today, I have the shades Smitten and Swoon. Each double date eyeshadow duo comes with a cream on the bottom and a very kind of foiled metallic shade on the top. You can use them alone, which I often do, or you can use them layered together for a more long-lasting look, which is what I did today, as you can see in the footage. They crease a little bit throughout the day, but I've had this on for hours and you can see that it still looks really beautiful. If you haven't watched my last video, I applied the new shade Eye Candy and Crush, which is a gorgeous, really soft, plummy mauve on the bottom, and then this rose gold metallic on the top. That purple shade really surprised me and I got a lot of compliments on that video. Definitely gonna be reaching for this shade more. My other favorite from this line is First Kiss and I Love You So Much. So the bottom shade is this stunning medium matte brown cream shadow, and the top is this foiled gold metallic. I love using this one separately because that matte brown cream is just such a perfect eyeshadow base, or just a perfect everyday eyeshadow on its own as a one and done. And the metallic shadow is so beautiful and so impactful. These are super, super underrated. The Wander Beauty On The Glow blush and illuminators are fantastic. Today I'm wearing the shade Strawberry Fields all over my cheeks with the highlighter Nude Glow on top. As you can see in the footage, Strawberry Fields is this incredibly stunning, kind of like reddish pink. It's just the most gorgeous kind of juicy berry color. That's not a purple berry, it's more of a pinky red berry, which I love. The formula is super creamy and emollient. It's quite dewy on the skin, but not so much that I wouldn't like wearing it because I don't like wet looking skin. It just gives you that healthy, like I'm great at applying skincare kind of vibe. And the highlighter is so underrated. The color Nude Glow is just the perfect tan champagne. It's never too icy. It doesn't look like shimmery or makeup on the skin. It just makes you look like you are radiant and glowing. My other two favorites are the shades Bear and Sienna Sunset. Sienna Sunset is this really beautiful peachy terracotta shade. The shade Bear is quite similar to Sienna Sunset, but it's a little bit lighter and it's a little more peachy. So you can see Bear is really more of like a light to medium peach, whereas Sienna Sunset's a little bit deeper, a little bit more terracotta. I love them all. They're so fantastic. One of Wander Beauty's latest releases is their double booked lip cream and conditioner. If you've been here for a while, you know that I loved their OG lip setter pencils. It was a lip liner on one side and a kind of like satin lipstick with a rounded bullet on the other side. This is their 2022 version. So instead of a lip liner on one side, they have a clear lip balm. And then on the other side, you get a highly emollient and creamy and highly pigmented lip cream. My favorite shade is Boss Babe. It's like my absolute perfect nude. It's slightly pink, it's slightly peach. It doesn't wash me out. It goes with everything. I freaking love it. And I wore this one in my last video, and looking back at the footage, I was like, oh my God, I need to keep this in my purse at all times. On the Way, or OTW, is also stunning. It's more of a medium rosy mauve. It's not totally mauve. It's not too gray purple. It has some pink to it, so it still looks like a natural flush of a lip color. And then the shade Happy Hour is just stunning. It perfectly matches their Strawberry Fields blush that I love so much. The only downside I will say is these feel a little bit cheap in terms of the packaging. It's just, I wish they had done a little bit of a better job. Like, their lip setters were in such fantastic packaging. It was so much more luxe. It doesn't really bother me. I'm not so much a packaging person unless something's too bulky, but I do know a lot of you care about that, so I wanted to mention it. Next up, we have Glossier. My favorite product from Glossier by a mile is their After Balm. It is the richest, thickest, most occlusive cream I've ever tried. This is my last skincare step every single night. I just take a little bit and dot it all over my face and neck, and I find that this is the best way for me to do the slugging method and lock in all of my products underneath and prevent epidermal water loss while I sleep. Typically, you would use the slugging method with a petrolatum-based product. I can't remember if this has petrolatum in it, but it does virtually the same thing for me. And it feels so cosmetically elegant too. It's like a joy to apply. It's just so rich and so satisfying. Glossier tends to have some essential oils or fragrance in their products. This one's entirely essential oil and fragrance free. I believe this was also approved by the National Eczema Association. As you can see, I'm almost out of this tub and I will repurchase so many more. I hope they never discontinue this. My second favorite product from Glossier is their Ultra Lips. I'm currently wearing the shade Lucite, which is my favorite. I just love that it's this amazing millennial baby pink. Oh, I just think it's so flattering, so brightening. I just really think that it's a beautiful color, and it's so sheer, makes the lips look really juicy. It's fragrance free. It's a stiffer kind of balm formula, so it takes some time to kind of warm up and work into the lips, which is why I like this one for being so sheer. I did review several shades from the Ultra Lips line if you want to see that, like Villa and I believe Trench as well, but those were so much more pigmented that really, to get that moisture that you want, that balminess, you really have to warm this product up because it starts off really stiff. And by that time, with the deeper shades, I was just getting lip product everywhere. So this line I think is better suited if you have medium to darker skin. They have a ton of colors and those will show up on you. But if you have more like fair to light skin like I have, Lucite for me is the way to go. It's just so comfortable and so nourishing. Another favorite from Glossier that's shade specific is their Monochromes eyeshadow palette in the shade Teak. This is one that performs beautifully, but there are inconsistencies in this line, but Teak is amazing. In most of the monochromes, there's just a subtle variation from the matte to the satin and the satin to the metallic. I have a whole video about these sharing very in-depth thoughts on how they could have improved this, but Teak is the one that performs really well because it's pigmented and there's enough variation between the formulas. I just love how this brings out my blue eyes. These are just my kind of shades. Next, we have e.l.f. Cosmetics. Surprisingly, I only own one thing from them, which is the Wow Brow. I'm wearing it on my brows today in the shade Taupe. I also have Neutral Brown. It sets my brows in place pretty well. It's not a stiff kind of eyebrow gel. It's also not like a wax or a pomade that really sets down and gives you that laminated look. This is more of something that builds up the fibers in your brows so they look more full and they look a little more fluffy, and that's the kind of look I like. I don't like a laminated brow. I just think that it looks too done up. It's like $5 or $6. You can get it on Ulta and they come in a ton of colors. Next, we have Thrive Cosmetics, and they make by far my favorite mascara of all time. You have this really heavy kind of luxe weighted mascara tube. It's the OG tubing mascara. It's the one that does it right. It never flakes or smudges on me. It holds a curl really well. It lengthens my lashes. It volumizes them. I just think that when I wear this, I look really good. I never have problems with this mascara. It's just fantastic. And when you're ready to take it off, you just rinse it off with some warm water and it comes off in those little tubes. It's perfection. Next, we have Saie Beauty, and I'm gonna start with my favorite from them, which is their brushes. Everybody is sleeping on these brushes, but they're freaking phenomenal. Unfortunately, I don't like their translucent powder because I find that it really doesn't keep my face mattified, even though it says it's a setting powder. But this powder brush is amazing. In fact, I could use a touch-up. So I'm just gonna go in with my Charlotte Tilbury powder, and I just kind of tap it into the skin. especially around my chin, my T-zone, and my forehead right here. And it just fits so perfectly in the areas where you want to powder your face. Not too big, not too small, and it's so soft. Same with their bronzer brush. This is such a great cream brush. This is so freaking soft, and it's perfect with their cream bronzer because their cream bronzer is quite stiff. It's not super thin and emollient like the Makeup by Mario Skin Enhancer. It's more of kind of like a thicker balm cream. So this super densely packed brush does the perfect job at just blending out the bronzer really beautifully so it looks like skin. I'm also including their Sun Melt bronzer because I'm wearing it today and it looks stunning. It's just that this shade Light is a little dark and a little too orange for my personal preference. It almost has this blurring effect on the skin that I love. Really, this is a perfect formula. I just want Saie to come out with more shades with different undertones. My other favorite product from Saie is their Dew Blush. My personal favorites are actually the shades Dreamy and Spicy, which are the darkest shades, because really these are so emollient. They just feel like juicy, juicy skincare. Like, we're gonna do a little makeup ASMR, ready? I really like to wear these on days where I'm not wearing foundation because I do find the more emollient, the more dewy a blush, the faster it fades. So these do fade quite quickly. Same with, you know, the Persona cream blush sticks, the Wander Beauty cream blush sticks. All of those have a very dewy finish, and these especially. So just know that like the dewier a product, the less likely it is to last long on your skin. But on days where I'm just doing my thing, going grocery shopping, you know, in the office, I love a dewier blush I can apply with fingers because it's just really satisfying to apply. And the Dew blushes are no exception. The shade Dreamy is this gorgeous pinky berry, much more on the pink side. And then the shade Spicy is this kind of slightly orange terracotta, but it does lean quite brown, which I love. Both of these would look absolutely fantastic on everybody. So interestingly, their shade Poppy is actually my favorite, but I gave it to my friend Rachel because it's the exact same shade as the MAC Glow Play blush in Heat Index. 10 out of 10 times, if I have the MAC Glow Play blush formula, I will choose that over any other formula any day because it's so flattering on the skin. So I do love the Saie Dew Blush in Poppy. I just wouldn't reach for it over MAC's Heat Index. But Spicy and Dreamy were two shades that I didn't have a perfect match for in my collection, so I kept them. And they're just so easy to apply with fingers. I love them. Next, we have Persona Cosmetics, and by far my favorite product from them is their powder blush in Bubble, which is a perfect dupe for the Dior Rosy Glow blush. I'm wearing it on my cheeks today on top of Wander Beauty Strawberry Fields, and it just adds the most beautiful, cool-toned pink flush to your cheeks. It makes me feel like fresh and awake and youthful and all of the things I want to feel. It's just so beautiful, and it looks good on everybody. Like, I've seen this on so many different skin tones and everyone looks so freaking good in a cool tone pink. If you haven't tried this kind of color yet, just go for Persona Bubble over the Dior. It also has the same subtle luminosity that the Dior blush has. Doesn't look like shimmer, you can't see it, but it just makes the blush look like skin instead of powder. So if you've been debating Dior Rosy Glow, just go with the Persona. Another product I'm just loving from them is their E-Balm in the color Meditate. This smells like cotton candy, which I really enjoy. It's a very, very thin, super emollient formula. So it's not like the Glossier Ultra Lips that you kind of have to press into your lips and swipe a few times to melt. It's super melty right from the start. The color Meditate is also stunning. I guess I would describe it as a bit of a peachy nude on me or a peachy beige, but they do have a red and a darker brown if you're more interested in that. One of my all-time favorite lip products is the Persona Gloss in Toffee. This is just the best freaking shade ever, and I've yet to come across a lip color that's this exact shade. It's this rich medium chocolate brown with some really, really fine silver shimmer in there that you can't feel on the lips. It doesn't leave any kind of like glitter when you take it off. It's my ultimate like cool girl gloss shade. I wear this with a matte brown eye, like I'll wear it with MAC Amorous Alloy or any kind of brown eyeshadow or maybe a winged liner, and I just feel like my coolest self. I don't know if this is the same scent as the E-Balm. I feel like the E-Balm smelled like cotton candy. This one to me smells like cake batter, and this has more of an oily texture to it. It's still kind of a medium weight gloss, so it's not super lightweight and runny, not like a lip oil, but there's definitely a high oil content in this. It's like a thicker oil, which I actually really like on the lips. I've been dying to try their shade Marrakesh. I keep forgetting. It was like out of stock on Ulta. Really want to pick that one up. This is definitely an underrated product. And lastly, from Persona, we have their new cream blush sticks. I have the shades Teddy, Bubble, and Kiss. Oh, hello. I applied all 3 of these in my last video, so I'll leave that linked in the description box below if you want to check it out. It's a really user-friendly cream blush formula. It leaves quite a dewy finish on the cheek. It's really easy to blend with fingers or a brush. The shade Teddy is a really nice warm beige on my skin. I think everyone's favorite is probably Teddy because it's the most skin-like color. But for me personally, obviously, I love Bubble and Kiss. Bubble is like one of my favorite colors. It's just that if I'm gonna reach for a blush, I'll always reach for a powder over a cream. So I'll reach for Persona's powder blush and Bubble over the cream blush stick. But I know so many of you prefer creams. So the Bubble one is also super beautiful, gorgeous flush of cool toned pink. And then the shade Kiss is just the brightest strawberry red. It just looks like that summer flush, like you just worked out really hard and you're just kind of glowing from within. So love the shades, love the blendability, love how user-friendly these are. And lastly, we have Innbeauty Project. My number 1 from them is their face glaze. I've gone through so many of these. What this product is a kind of nourishing emollient cream mixed with a really subtle soft focus glow pigment. This has a lot of great skincare ingredients like vegan squalane, it has ceramides, kakadu plum, watermelon extract, and hyaluronic acid. So it's a beautiful hydrating and moisturizing primer if you want to use it that way. Sometimes I mix it in with moisturizer. Sometimes I use it after my moisturizer before sunscreen. Sometimes I use it after sunscreen like a makeup primer. I'll use this on no makeup days where I just want to perfect my skin a little bit without makeup. And I get a lot of questions about this comparing it to the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. They are totally different products. The Charlotte Tilbury really to me is so much more of a highlighter. Like when I apply that on the tops of my cheeks, it's glowy, there's a highlighter. This is much more of a cream with great skincare ingredients and benefits with a soft focus, light diffusing pigment. You certainly can use it as a highlighter, although it's gonna be very, very subtle. I just love using this kind of before or after sunscreen and also on my shoulders and my collarbones and my legs. It just makes my skin feel really moisturized, but it adds a little bit of a glow without looking like you're wearing a highlighter. So beautiful. I have a lot of other favorites from Innbeauty, but this video is already super long. I love their Slushy Serum Moisturizer Crush. I love their 10+10 moisturizer, but I just cannot live without my Innbeauty lip glazes. And this is the shades narrowed down. Like, there are only a couple of them that I don't reach for, but these are my favorites, starting with my number 1 favorite, which is Berry Jam. Oh, the most gorgeous flush of a sheer berry. I love it. It looks so beautiful and juicy on the lips, and it just has the most addictive scent. It smells like someone is boiling a pot of berries on the stove with some water and sugar and is kind of like bubbling it down to a jam. It just smells so good. I also love the first one they made, which is Candy Apple, which is more of a sheer flush of red. So if you've been wanting to try the Dior lip oil in cherry or maybe the Fenty cherry oil, I would go for the Innbeauty lip glaze because I think that these are better. Another favorite is the shade Prose, which smells like pink lemonade, and it has this super frosty, cool toned pink flush. I love the way that this looks on my lips. Never thought I would be into such a frosty shade, but when I pair it with like a lavender eye or something, it just gives me all the Y2K vibes and I love it. Another favorite is Fruity Cereal. As you can tell, I've been super into kind of like milky baby pinks on the lips recently, and this one is beautiful. It also smells like Fruity Pebbles, which is one of my favorite smells and one of my favorite childhood treats of all time. This is an absolute cannot live without. And lastly, I really like one of their more recent ones, which is Cookie. It's this light neutral beige, doesn't lean pinky, doesn't lean peachy on me. It's just a straight beige, which I really appreciate, but it's not too light. It doesn't wash me out. It's not super milky. Doesn't leave like a ring around my lips. It says that it has like a chocolate chip cookie smell, but to me it smells like coffee cake. I don't know what it is. It's really nice. But in terms of the formula, it's a cross between an oil and a gloss. So a glaze is a really great way of describing it. So it's lighter weight than your traditional gloss, but it's not as thin and slippery as a lip oil. So it's just really comfortable on the lips, and you get this super satisfying, really fuzzy, chunky applicator that's very addictive to apply. So that's it. Those are all my favorite products from pro-choice brands. Let me know if there are any brands I missed. I would love to know who else has made any positive statements supporting women's rights. And if you made it this far, thanks for watching. I'm sending you love wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next one.